Welcome back. The political rise of Kamala Harris within the Democrat Party will be on full display at next month's DNC convention in Chicago, when she is expected to receive the official nomination. Just 20 years ago, Kamala became district attorney in San Francisco after defeating her former boss, Terrence Hallinan, in a runoff with the backing of former San Francisco mayor and Assembly Speaker Willie Brown. From there, she became California Attorney General, U.S. Senator, and finally Vice President of the United States. Joining me now with more on the political rise of Harris is the President of the Government Accountability Institute, Peter Schweizer. Peter, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. What's your take on Kamala's rise throughout the party, and what can you tell us about Obama and his influence here?
Yeah, great question, Maria. Look, Barack Obama and Kamala Harris have known each other before he was a U.S. Senator and before she was actually the district attorney in San Francisco. So there's a long history there. And if you look at Kamala Harris's rise in politics, there are a couple of things that stick out. One is the fact that she is loyal to those who put her there. And number two, she's prepared to do the bidding of the money people that put her there. When she was San Francisco district attorney in 2003, she ran against Terrence Hallinan. Terrence Hallinan was a progressive. The problem for Willie Brown is he was investigating Willie Brown's friends on fraud and a series of other charges. Willie Brown didn't like that, so he put his political machine and his money behind Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris won that race because of Willie Brown's help. And what did Kamala Harris do when she became district attorney? She dropped all those cases, those criminal cases, against Willie Brown's political allies. So, you know, this is a lesson that she knows how to wield power. By the way, she was campaigning for Barack Obama in 2003 before he was in the U.S. Senate. And after he won that Senate seat from Illinois, he actually went out to San Francisco and raised money for Kamala Harris. So there is a tight bond there. And that's why I think there is considerable evidence that Barack Obama is the one that essentially instituted this coup and saw to it that Joe Biden was kicked to the side and Kamala Harris would be the nominee.
What about this Seymour Hersh, the investigative journalist, reporting that's suggesting that Obama threatened Joe Biden with the 25th Amendment if he didn't step down? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think you have to understand about Barack Obama. This is the way that he operates. You know, he's a very smooth politician, but go back and look at State Senator Alice Palmer. She was the one in Chicago that was Barack Obama's mentor. She's the one that introduced him to Bill Ayers, to all the big money people in Chicago. What did Barack Obama do? In 1996, he got her kicked off the ballot because he wanted her Senate seat, and he took her Senate seat.
Wow.
So when you look at the current context today, what you see is a couple of things. The money, the big money in the Democratic Party. Who is the chairman of Joe Biden's finance committee for his campaign? It was Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was what? The chairman of Barack Obama's finance campaign. So the big money people in the Democratic Party are Obama people first instead of Biden people. The second thing to understand is look at the center of gravity in the White House itself. Yes, you've got Steve Ricchetti and a couple of close aides around Joe Biden, but this is essentially Barack Obama's White House. Remember that picture from just a couple of years ago when Barack Obama visited the White House? Everybody's crowding around Barack Obama, and there is the actual current sitting president, Joe Biden, off by himself.
That's right.
So the center of gravity was there. And when Barack Obama started, the first one really who started questioning whether Joe Biden could win, immediately, like a light switch went off, you saw all the whispers coming from White House staff reporting these stories about how Joe Biden was not always there and should be replaced. So in my mind, there's lots of evidence, and his fingerprints are all over this.
Okay, but specifically, did Obama threaten Biden with the 25th Amendment that they have gotten the okay from the cabinet that they will push it forward if he doesn't step down? Did they threaten Biden to say, you better get out, otherwise we're doing it this way?
Yeah, that's what Seymour Hersh is certainly reporting. I don't have that same evidence, but it would certainly fit the pattern for Barack Obama.
All right, we'll take a short break, and then I want to get your thoughts on the China angle with Kamala Harris. That's next. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm back with Peter Schweizer, the president of the Government Accountability Institute. Peter, we're talking about Kamala Harris, and I want to get your take on all these positive stories coming out of TikTok about Kamala Harris's record and her performance as VP and senator. Your thoughts on whether or not the CCP, the Communist Party of China, is once again pushing their propaganda out because they want Kamala in the White House?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. And look, when you use the term propaganda, which is the right term, Maria, part of the way they do it is by manipulating the algorithm. So you see some stories and you don't see others. And there's no question there's been a huge push to push positive stories on Kamala Harris. There's a history of this to TikTok. I've written about this. They did this against Ted Cruz. They've done it against other politicians. And the play here is not only do they want Kamala Harris to win, because her policies would certainly be more friendly to the CCP than a Trump administration, but they're also looking for wiggle room on the TikTok ban. Remember, the law says that they are supposed to basically defund from China, or they will be banned in the United States. The bill offers some wiggle room. The president can delay that. There's a possibility that they would maybe potentially get off the hook. So the stakes are very high, and they are going to be all in on a Kamala Harris campaign in the hopes that she can win over Donald Trump.
And meanwhile, once again, no accountability for the FBI, who took us down the rabbit hole of Russia collusion. Ex-FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page reached settlements with the Justice Department. They're going to see the government paying out a total of $2 million to these two. Former agent Strzok was going to get $1.2 million, and Page was an FBI lawyer getting $800,000 because they sued because the Justice Department released their texts to each other. Unbelievable. Your thoughts, real quick.
Yeah, no, it's remarkable. Injustice in America again.
Peter, good to see you. We so appreciate your time. Peter Schweizer joining me. That'll do it for us on Sunday Morning Futures. I'll see you next week on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business.